I just invited my first ever male guest expert to come speak on my podcast called She Scales, and here's why. For context, when I created this podcast, it was all about helping women who, regardless of where they were at on their entrepreneurial journey, they could build, start, grow, and scale to 7 figures and beyond. It was about sharing more of female voices, sharing more stories of success, sharing more strategies, sharing more stories to be able to platform more women, help more women, share more value, and honestly put more sales, business, mindset, and identity advice into the hands of women so that they could use it to scale a really successful company. And so up until now, I've only shared female voices on the She Scales podcast. However, that changed when I invited recently a male mentor onto the podcast. And I did so because he is a wealth building expert. He's someone who I know because I've met, I trust, I've learnt from him myself because of spaces that I've been in. Yes, I'm about champion women, but what I'm not about is consciously blocking insane levels of insight, knowledge, and expertise from being shared with my audience when so many people could be getting the benefit from that. Just because it's not coming from a female voice does not mean that that person doesn't have insane levels of expertise and knowledge and value to share with my audience. And if anything, no other female could share that level of knowledge and insight because we simply didn't have access to those spaces. Moms and nans and grandmas and ancestors didn't have the opportunities that men had. And so 100%, if someone is really good at what they do, and especially in realms of either business, wealth building, investments, all of that sort of stuff that we as women have not had access to, yes, I'm going to share that on the podcast. And one of the things he said really surprised me because he said, thank you for letting me to come and speak to your community and on this podcast because I've been trying to share my knowledge with more women, but no one will let me into female-owned spaces. I really want to put more wealth and more knowledge and be able to share what I know, what I've built and what I've learned over my decades in this industry. And I want to be able to share it with more women especially, but no one will let me speak inside those spaces. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to hear what he's got to say, go to the She Scales podcast for the most recent episode with Whelan.